All right, well, it's October 13th, and you're watching Mods on Air, and we're angry.
2 FPS, 3 RPGs, and 5 sim-type games.
Yeah.
I think you'd be able to come up with one here.
I'm actually pulling this one hard. Ask all the people that need hacks to play Call of Duty.
I could hear you groaning
Oh, yeah.
inwardly every time Sim's mentioned. You just cringing.
Hey, everybody, welcome to episode 397 of Mods on Air, bringing you the week in gaming news as modders, developers, and gamers ourselves. I am foyleman, and also on the show today we have with us Breesy. Hello, Breesy.
Hola.
Hola, and we also have with us Ham.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. And
Hola.
Stryder's with us. Hello, Stryder.
Hello, everybody.
Don't forget the Spanish version. Hola. Okay.
Hola, everybody.
Seems like we're all doing-
Hola, amigo. ¿Cómo está?
And we have Welshie.
we
Oh,
beat.
wait, no, we don't.
No,
no,
we don't. No. But this show, in case anyone
Probably on
cares,
Davy Street somewhere.
is performed live, and we happen to record it, and we throw this up on YouTube. We used to throw it up on Blip TV, but they can suck it, bitches. And for the other topics that we discuss, we may have some relevant URLs into the chat window. Some links may be posted that you don't want to go to, so if you don't recognize the name in the chat window, don't use it. And finally, those of you who haven't heard the show before, there will be some explicit language and adult themes. If this offends you, then stick around because you ain't heard nothing yet.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, right.
Oh yeah, so I was just complaining a moment ago about Blip TV. For many years we used to upload our video to Blip TV as well as Vimeo. We stopped using Vimeo because they were a little expensive and weren't worth the quality that we were getting in return. And then finally YouTube allowed us to upload larger videos, and YouTube is a bit just easier for communities and for people to use since it's more widely accepted. So we started using let's see, YouTube in around episode 297, I think it is, something like that. But before that, when we used to upload it to Blip TV, the reason for that was because it allowed us to do a RSS feed that we could submit to iTunes, which means our videos were on iTunes. Were. Past tense. So I got an email this week that says, oh, and I should mention that over the years I have paid my $10 a month for Blip TV so that we can upload these larger videos and keep them up there. And as of a few months ago, I decided it's not necessary for us to keep uploading them, but you know what? We have a couple hundred episodes up there. I'll just leave them up there and keep the feed going and stuff like that. So here's my email. Over the past year, Blip has been conducting ongoing review of our content library, removing accounts that don't meet our terms of service. And as part of this effort, your account has been flagged for removal. So I'm like, what? What terms of service? What did I break? So I read the terms of service, and I could not find a thing in there that said we were violating anything that they were doing. I mean, we're original content, which is they're big on. We are
That's the big thing. You have to be original content.
right. So I'm reading. So I'm like, okay, let me write them back and find out what happened. I said, I received an email today. Blah blah blah. Could you please tell me which terms I may be violating? I am concerned because all the videos I have linked, which is something I just said, and I said I thank you for whatever response you supply. Okay, so
You
they
got a
write
form
back.
letter back.
We get. Well, I think so. They say we violate this terms of service. Number 11. We have prohibited content, videos that are not part of a high-quality original episodic web series.
What?
We are not. What? Isn't that all we are? That's our sole definition.
We are nothing but high quality.
Okay.
Yeah.
Additionally, the terms of service require that you agree not to use Blip to host videos which serve primarily to promote or support a business enterprise. Isn't that the only purpose of a video? I don't know.
Yeah.
Where does the line get drawn that says a video is not there to promote someone or something, or I don't know.
I suppose they just want nature scenes or something.
Yeah, if you look at the video game sections that they've got 2 Grand Theft Auto 5 featured videos or podcasts. They've got in the staff picks, they've got Legendary, the World of Warcraft, which is just a game cast. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 other ones that are video game review shows pretty much the same as what we do, but they suck more because we're better. Audience favorites, they're all in there. Little Big Planet, Little Big Planet 2, the Little Big Podcast. Like, seriously? That's not promoting Little Big Planet or Little Big Planet 2. It's just, I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was me that had the last say in it, I would have challenged it. But Foyle said, "You know what? Just fuck them." So fuck
What
them.
am I going to challenge? Where would I go with this? Other than to write back and say, sorry to hear that. Now I feel like I wasted all my years of previous subscriptions and recommendations. I'll make sure to tell people that too. At least I replied. Thanks for that.
Yep.
So there you go. Now I'm telling people our videos are no longer on Blip, which means we no longer have an iTunes channel. And that's it.
Those fuckers.
Okay. Nothing like starting a show on a high note. Yeah, so if you use Blip TV, let me know if you're looking for an alternative, and I will go out of my way to make sure you get what you deserve. An alternative. I will. I'm like that. Vengeful.
The wrath of Foyle.
I think a lot what it is Blip is starting to feel the crush of the big giant Twitch, which is probably going to end up. You know what? Twitch is going to end up shooting themselves in the foot because any service that gets big and good ends up getting swallowed by something else. You take a look at what happened with Skype. Actually, start before that. What happened with Stickum? Stickum was fantastic. It was emerged as something that was better than what everybody else that was out there, because Justin TV was out there and it was not the greatest. There was what were some of the other ones we tried? Ustream, which just that.
It was almost there, but then it was like they wanted some crazy amounts of money to have any kind of
features at all.
Features, yeah.
And
I don't know. And there were others.
I mean, you could get ones that would do everything we wanted, but you weren't allowed to moderate your chat.
Yeah.
Which, if you're broadcasting something live, we have to be able to moderate our chat because you get people in there throwing in, your porn pop-ups and like people photo bombing, but they're chat bombing. So, or you'd get ones that all the video was good, but there was absolutely zero chat, so you had to run a secondary chat program to. For our show format. So
that's not good.
We found Stickum to be the perfect balance for us in that sense. And I mean, Stickum had some problems, but we could usually work through them.
Yeah.
And then they just disappeared because Twitch ended up. I think what it was Twitch, because there was with that there was absolutely zero warning. It was just completely out of the blue. There was no like, hey, we're in trouble, we need more money, and
we're
nothing like that. It was
next week.
Yeah, right out of the blue. Yeah, we're closing. I think there was a lot to do with there was some
money.
Some corporate things happened, and I think Twitch was behind them because all of a sudden Twitch is the only one out there that's capable of this. However, Twitch's service has been less than stellar. There's you can pop out the video to watch the video, but then you can't use chat.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see the chat and all that and participate in chat, you have to kind of be watching it in this little tiny window, and it's just not a good service. It's not a good combination of services, and it's unreliable.
At least it's affordable.
It's affordable. But the thing is you get no promotion, you get no categorization unless it's directly broadcasting a video game. You get no categorization. It's just,
Mm-hmm.
So, and Skype is the same way. Skype was a really good service. It developed and it built. Itself up, and then it got purchased by Microsoft. And now it's a commercialized thing that's up.
It is.
It's updated daily. Daily, there's an update for Skype.
I have a non-subscribed account this is a subscribed account. When I use my non-subscribed account for work and I talk to somebody or chat with somebody on Skype, I'm always looking at an advertisement, always, instead of their face.
I haven't updated my Skype in ages.
Mm.
I don't know if
I'm not getting a choice anymore, and there's nothing. There's nothing in the options that allows me to choose to turn it off. Once you get the one Skype update, there is no going back from it. It updates itself. There's no way to turn it off. It's pissed me off because I've gone through all the options.
Mm-hmm. Oh well. All right.
Ham,
I don't want to.
Ham, you are talking and there's no sound.
Is he talking?
He was like this in his.
Sorry.
Now he is. Now he's making noise.
He's too busy with his coffee. Leave the man alone.
Yeah. I just want to say that I get a prompt telling me that there's an update available, and I was going to go through it, and then I saw this thing that says from now on Skype is going to automatically update itself after this update, and I just chose not to do that. So
yeah,
Mr. 8.1 over there. Okay, well, we keep going through it. We'll survive somehow. Well, let's talk about some games, though. Let's talk about what was going on in the news, because we have a lot of topics that came up in earlier in the week. There's some information going on for the Microsoft Xbox. Is that right? 360 bundles?
Yep.
There's 3 Xbox 360 bundles for Xbox One Refuseniks. Yes. So if you don't want to do the Xbox One, you can still buy a brand new bundle of Xbox 360. Why? Is there a really good reason why you would do the 360 instead?
Well, this is going to be aimed at parents who want to give their child an Xbox but don't want to pay the Xbox One prices. And there's a wealth of games that are cheap.
Wait. How much is the Xbox One?
$500, I believe.
So you'd rather spend $300?
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. I think people can get a Wii U for the same price now as well, but who knows what the game catalog is like. I don't think it's much.
Just to go with that comment that guy made when he said, "Oh, you don't like being online? Buy an Xbox 360."
Right.
That's to go with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that could make a difference. Yes.
But the thing is, then all of a sudden you're just going to have. I mean, you've got a whole bunch of negative reasons, like anti-features for this Xbox One, and they're pushing it out and they're pushing it out, and it's just people are like, I think we've reached the threshold where anything that they try and say is a feature, everybody's going to look at and say, you know what, you're fucked. I'm not spending money on this. Oh, well, you can watch your TV. Well, I can already watch my TV. Fuck off. I don't need this.
But they're all going to do it anyways.
There's going to be your sheep. There's always the sheep that are going to blindly walk off a cliff because Microsoft says, "Oh, look, here it is, here it is, here it is," and they're like, "Oh, I'll get that." Oh, it's just amazing. But I do believe that we have reached that threshold where the next thing that Microsoft tries to implement, or PlayStation tries to implement, that is going to vastly change what people are used to, is going to kill them. It's going to kill the corporation. And I think what's going to happen, and we're seeing it now with what they're trying to do with the Xbox One. You know what? We've realized that console, they want everybody to console game. They want everybody sitting back in their seat, console gaming, yeah. And PC gaming's no good. And now they're saying, you know what? We're maybe going to have to release some peripherals to get some shit onto this Xbox One, because console developers and development as they know it is going to be more PC centric. So you're going to end up with with peripherals for these new consoles that are just going to be the PCs that they are. Yeah. They're a fixed set of specifications in these PCs.
Just look at the next topic.
Yeah, just look at this.
Xbox One may get a keyboard and mouse.
So,
what did Stryder just say? Let's one more. Let's look at the next topic. Xbox One may have crossplay with the PC.
Yeah, that's not going to work.
right.
Why not? If they have the keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, but they're going to have a Microsoft keyboard and mouse.
And,
Which
and
only works
probably
with 2 keys, not 3.
Yeah.
that sort of defeats the whole idea behind Xbox Live Gold. So you're gonna have one player playing online that doesn't have to pay, and then another person who
Oh,
can
that's next.
yeah
Oh,
You got to
So-
pay to be online on the PC.
oh
Yeah.
God.
so that's not gonna work. And for a very very short period, Microsoft tried to do that with Games for Windows Live. They tried to sort of add additional features or stop you from playing multiplayer if you didn't have an Xbox Live Gold account, and that was extremely short lived. Because they realized people aren't going to do that. We can't put a pay gate in front of things that people already had for free. They're just not going to play the games.
Oh,
Right.
toll booth.
Yeah. So cross PC play, I don't see Microsoft doing that or
I do.
committing to it.
I do. Why not? Why can't
Yeah.
you force someone to pay for an Xbox Live Gold account on their Xbox One in order to access the online features? You're not saying it's for multiplayer, it's for online features.
Well, I mean, to me, it's crazy enough that both the PlayStation and the Xbox, these next ones, are essentially they're subscription devices. You can't use pretty much any worthwhile feature without having to pay a subscription on top of everything you've already
Base
paid.
price. Yeah.
Yeah, it's when was it okay for consoles to become these subscription devices? I just don't agree with it. Which is why I'll never be an advocate for it. But I mean, the market's proven me wrong. People love to pay for Xbox Live, don't they?
They're sheep. The North American market essentially is sheep. Consider yourself a sheep.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no big secret that I am not a console advocate. I know Breesy has played consoles in the past. You know, I've played consoles too. I quite enjoyed racing games on the consoles.
That's what I use mine for.
Um,
Racing games.
But to say that a shooter is better on a console is just ludicrous. To say that any actual game can you imagine trying to play Arma on a console?
Okay, can you imagine trying to play it on a PC?
Well, no, and that's the thing. Like, it's difficult enough on a PC, but it's just I don't. I found an article. I didn't link it in here, but John from Tripwire, the gentleman that Foyle interviewed, gave an interview about how Call of Duty has ruined, and it was they're really focusing on this part of the interview, but he had stated in an interview that Call of Duty has ruined a genre of first-person shooters, and it's not in the sense that it's ruined the genre. His comment was, it was in the sense that it's ruined the players of that genre, because if a game now is not Call of Duty, it's shit. That's what all these players out there. So everybody is comparing, like, all these players are out there comparing their multiplayer experience to Call of Duty. Oh, you know what? Battlefield's not Call of Duty. It's no good. Red Orchestra's not Call of Duty. It's no good. And you get that sense that everything's being held up to that, and people are. You always get your fanboys sounding off on each side, like, "Oh, Battlefield's better than Call of Duty, and Call of Duty's better than Battlefield." You know what? I don't like either of them, so I can sound off on this objective. Call of Duty they hit a home run with their title when they did the Modern Warfare thing. I mean, it built up from the first one to the expansion with M.O.J.O, and then this Call of Duty 2, and then Modern Warfare. That's kind of where Call of Duty 2 and Modern Warfare was, where they elevated themselves and said, "Hey, this is awesome," and they really got a good fan base behind them, and it franchised at that point. What happened, though, is that they've been riding that franchise with nothing new since. And so if you're not developing, you're just putting out the same shit. People are buying that blindly, and it's unfortunately that's the experience they're playing over and over and over. You look at the multiplayer Call of Duty, most of the times they've got at least 2 maps released from previous games, and in some cases a lot of the maps are still from previous games. They're just reskinned to make them look different to suit the environment they're in. It's going nowhere. And the console market, this is where I was going with this whole thing. The console market has unfortunately followed that, where they are not offering anything developmentally feasible. There's no reason to spend all this money other than the fact that, hey, we're releasing something that's not, what was the Xbox 360, 5 years old, 6 years old now? We're releasing something that's an update of that, but we are taking away all the features, we're taking away all the console stuff, and we don't really know what to fill that void with. So we're gonna, like Ham said, make you pay for everything.
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking, how would I prefer Call of Duty? And I'd almost prefer if they just sort of were honest with it and did a model like EVE Online or Trackmania, where you have the same base game and they just release content packs that you have to pay for. But it's the same game. They aren't forcing you to pay $60 every year, like, because right now it's like a one of those Madden or NBA 2K type games where they release one every year, asking you to pay a full price for the same thing with slightly augmented stuff. Maybe not even better stuff, just augmented stuff.
All they've done is they've realigned the player names on the back, which wasn't tough to do.
It's crazy. Just come out with it. Just say this is the same game here. Buy the base game, and you can pay for additional sort of annual content packs that we release if you choose to. But even that, I think, is weird. If anything, have a timed exclusive where, okay, maybe for a few months, if you don't want to pay for it, eventually this stuff becomes free, and so you still bring together the community. I think Valve may be doing something like that with Counter-Strike M.O.J.O, where they've got something, I don't know.
Yeah, the Bravo packs.
Isn't that, if I understand it correctly, it's sort of a timed exclusive on official servers, and eventually once that's over next year, it's going to be available sort of more broadly.
As far as I'm aware, yes, half price at the moment. I bought it when it first came out, so I haven't really kept an eye on it, but I think it will go free eventually.
Yeah, so do something like that, because one of the things that I hate is that with all this sort of DLC madness and content packs, from the outset, if it's a multiplayer focused game, from the outset you fracture the community, and it's not good. But what it does do, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to interrupt you. About that Bravo pack is, say for instance you play as a group like us, we all play together. Only one of you has to own the Bravo pack, pull the others into the. So if one of you goes out and pays, the $3 to get the game, we could all play it.
Right, and that works. Something like that works. But now what's in consoles are really pushing us, and I think part of that fractured nature of it is not only they get additional sales, but also it motivates people to sort of drop the game and hop over to the next release next year at around the same time. It's all sorts of crazy, and consoles are sort of paving the way for this, and there's that danger that this is probably going to hop to the PC, where all of a sudden, like you said, we've got to pay somehow, for some reason now we've got to pay an additional subscription to play online games on PC. It's insane, and we're in danger as a PC community. We're in danger.
Well, it's unfortunate that everything is gaming. I believe used to be, and I'm gonna put a whole bunch of people down here, but don't take this out of context. It used to be a whole bunch of geeks sitting around. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna make this really awesome thing, and they come up with this game, and it was their passion to do this. And now it's reversed, and it's all corporate. There is no I need to develop this game because I've got this passion about it. I need to develop this game to get paid, and how can I monetize every portion of this development as a developer so that I can get more money to develop this thing? And then the people that are promoting are like, how can I monetize every bit of this game through development so that I get more money? It's just unfortunate that it has gone to the everything's checks and or swings and balances. It's gone to the one side now where it's all about monetization with zero quality. Before it used to be, you got all this quality, and it wasn't even essentially asked for. It was just like, wow, look at all the stuff I'm getting. And it come back to the middle where there was a balance of quality and price point, and it's gone to the other direction now where it's all about corporate dollar, not what you're getting for that corporate dollar.
Yeah.
And it's got to swing back. And you're starting to see every now and then you see games like, this one's going to support modding. We're going to give the player, we want people to keep playing this game. We don't want to have to be under the gun to release something on an annual basis or every 2 years. We don't want to have to release a completely new game, because I don't know that we've got that creativity or we can justify it. So you see games coming out now. It's like, we're gonna give you these mod tools. And you look at some of the free-to-play games that are coming out. That Retribution, which doesn't the beta for that start yesterday?
Retribution?
Blacklight Retribution.
No, not Retribution. Extraction.
Extraction. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that should start pretty soon.
Yeah, free to play, free to get, and it's going to, and this was from the developer, support modding.
Beautiful.
We just don't know what kind of in-game monetization they have going on. See, something we might be able to learn some stuff going on with the mobile markets, because the mobile markets seem to be taking the same original idea of let's start making games and working up from nothing, and then just fast-tracking it to, okay, now what used to be at the top of the charts are all these games that sold for $5. Then suddenly it was all these games that sold for $1. Now, top of the charts, all these games that are free, but once you get into the game, you end up having to spend lots and lots of money.
Yeah.
So in some cases, you can't play the game unless you spend money on something. So we could be seeing something like that happening with Extraction. We don't know for sure, because he wouldn't give us a straight answer as far as exactly what was being monetized, but something was going to be.
Well, yeah, but he's when we spoke with him, his comment was it's not going to be a play to win, or sorry, a pay to win. It's going to be a pay for hats and outfits and things like that.
Which is fine by me. I don't mind games that visually, fine. If you want to pay for it, you pay for it. But if you're buying the best sniper rifle in the game, then that pisses me off.
Yeah. As much as I don't like the sort of complication that the workshop brought to TF2, all the hats and all the different alternative guns, the sort of side grades, as much as I don't necessarily like that because it adds so much complication to what was when it first came out, just this pure fun game. It works. It works and doesn't mess with the game too much. If people want to buy hats and that supports the game, fine, and I support that. It works, and if Extraction wants to do something like that where people can get alternative outfits, I'm all for it.
Because Ham wants to rock that vegan outfit.
I do.
Hot dog costume.
Running around in a vegan what are you for Christmas or for Halloween? Oh, I'm dressing up as a vegan hot dog.
I'd love that. Well, that's gonna be the first mod.
All right. Well, there's also, in this last week they announced what the box is going to look like for the PlayStation 4, and there it is. Okay, so it comes in a few colors, and that's it. Moving on. Steam Steam controller. I mean, what am I going to say about the PS4? Here's a box. Okay.
Got a 4 in it.
Yeah. Steam controller is there's a demonstration video out there as how it works, and I thought it was interesting. I watched this.
This is Jeff Bellinghausen. I'm wondering
this video.
We wanted to put together a gameplay video,
and I want to highlight a couple. I can think of 2 points that were interesting in this. First of all, obviously this thing has no actual joysticks. They're more like touchpads.
We're going to try and put together.
They're supposed to give you haptic feedback, but this guy doesn't talk anything about that. Now, something that you'll notice here, I'm just going to turn this down. There's a couple ways to do this. This can be set up in any which way. He's playing it currently in its default mode, but you'll notice that when he turns right and left, it's not swipe and hold right to keep turning right. It's like using the trackpad on your laptop. It's
With acceleration.
just keep turning it. Just keep picking your thumb up and keep swiping as you turn. Now, one thing about that is, yes, it makes it difficult for you to do a 180 or to flip all the way around, but it also means high accuracy. Because if you've ever played a game on your phone where you're trying to move the mouse, instead of like using like a joystick and you almost just swipe and it moves to where you point your finger and then you can shoot. It's that kind of idea, which I think is pretty good. Now, he goes on and goes on to another game. This game over here. Is it? No, it's. Let's move on to one of. What is this? Oh, somebody in my office plays this crazy game. But no, this game. This one is. I don't know what it's called.
I think it's Papers, Please.
Yeah, Papers, Please, which is a crazy game by itself. But I'm not gonna. I don't want to. Ham can tell you all about it. This one. It's important. There's a lot of swiping back and forth, and instead of like just trying to move your mouse pointer to slowly, more accurately across the screen with just a right joystick, use both joysticks at the same time, and your mouse moves twice the speed, which is giving you some more options, things that you may have not conceived with this kind of controller. Now, I think this is going to be a more accurate controller than what we're used to, but it's still a controller.
How is it better than
Mouse and
mouse and keyboard?
Oh, it's not.
I don't think it is.
Why? What's the benefit of me getting this Steam controller for Steam Big Picture then? When I can
suppose. Well, I suppose that it's a trade-off. You want to be on the couch, and not be encumbered with a mouse and keyboard, or have to set up a station for that on the couch.
See,
So
I've got
This
a
is close to do
recliner. It's got a 1 foot wide armrest on it that I've got my wireless mouse. Just there you go. And I put my wireless keyboard on my lap, and I just kind of lean back, and I can play whatever I want on a big 60-inch TV. And I don't even need to use Steam Big Picture mode because I'd have a HDMI cable running right from my laptop. So I don't see the advantage to this.
and I think they've come to the realization, or I'd hope they've come to the realization, that this is not going to work for everybody. This is going to sort of it's out to get people who don't have a comfortable setup, who want something that sort of offers a cross section of convenience and as well as the versatility.
The controller's laid out, like what we were saying earlier, where you got to keep swiping your finger out. That's going to be no good for, say, Counter-Strike. I'd much rather a mouse for that. And the only time I'd ever contemplate using this is for a driving game, and I don't see it being that great for that either.
No, it doesn't look like it's good for a driving game, does it?
Oh no,
No.
you're right about
but
that.
that's
for
the
sure.
thing. What is the purpose of reinventing a console that essentially the console controllers that are out there now, the dual analog sticks, which that's the big similarity between the Xbox and the PS, is that's the evolution. That's where it's gone to. Why would you try and de-evolutionize how people are playing just so you could say, oh, look, I've got something different? It makes no sense.
This video convinces me a bit. It says, okay, this is a little better than I thought it was. I'm not 100% there. I don't think I ever will be until I get it in my hands to play around with it to see exactly how it works. And even then, I've got this sort of skepticism that I'm probably not going to prefer it over the mouse and keyboard, but I'm probably going to prefer it against an Xbox 360 controller.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel. I don't have any reason to go out and buy a controller, but if I had to buy one with a gun to my head, it might be this one.
Yeah. Just because I could, yeah, I
Turns
could
up the
at least.
price tag for this is
Also true. Yeah.
All of this yeah.
I was gonna say, all right, try to imagine this. Imagine playing Guild Wars 2 with us, and you got the touchscreen in the middle, and you can sort of maybe swipe the touchscreen and it alters the layout all of a sudden for each class that you play as. That might be interesting, because after I saw this video, I thought to myself, people have been wanting to play Guild Wars with a controller for a while. Nothing has particularly worked for every class, but with this, with that touchscreen, you can sort of...
Well, I mean, one of the big reasons is that you need a dozen... No, you need 14 buttons as a minimum just for your skills. So I don't know. I just don't see a benefit to this. Unless you're going to have like 8 buttons and you have to do stupid combinations of both buttons at the same time to get different skills. Like
yeah, I mean, we don't exactly know, but I think some even ArenaNet might do it. They may say, all right, well, now we support the Steam controller, and here's how everything works, and so there's official support with the Steam controller, whereas with the Xbox controller, for sure, you couldn't do that before. I mean, I've seen setups and all sorts of weird things, and I've tried it myself. I've gotten something sort of halfway working with Guild Wars 2. In the end, you put down the controller and go back to the mouse and keyboard. Something like this could possibly work. There's some things. I guess we need to check it out and see. Again, I'm not saying it's better than mouse and keyboard. It might be convenient. But then I might just end up doing like you and get the controller and say, oh, that's neat, and then go back right to the mouse and keyboard and kind of put something on my lap and play the game on the big TV.
I just don't think it doesn't do anything great, and the stuff it could do great, it's just gonna fail at. So
I think
I'm
that's
not
the
interested.
biggest problem, and that's the biggest problem. And we discussed this a couple shows back about the technology and all these interfaces that are coming out. Is unfortunately a lot of them are coming out and they're going to fail because they're going to be good at certain things, horrible at others, and great at nothing. And so you're going to end up with what could have been. And I think, what did we compare it to? I think when we were talking about the Oculus and all these VR things, they're going to be good at certain things, great at nothing, and they're going to fail horribly at other things. And unfortunately, when you combine those, that's a marketing nightmare.
Yeah. I'm excited. I told my girlfriend just the other day that once the Oculus comes out, and I'm gonna put her out on the treadmill with the Oculus so she can sort of so she can walk.
Wow.
and sort of
That's almost like a threat, isn't it?
yeah. and she can walk, and it'll sense sort of her movement, so it's like she's walking through the wilderness on the treadmill or biking through it, whatever.
And Ham will make a mod so that she can go to these conferences and these shows, and he doesn't even have to leave the office. Here you go. Pretend you're there. Oh my!
Be great for that.
Okay. Well, all these questions regarding this controller and the Steam machine that's supposed to be coming out and stuff like that, that's all going to be, you can ask them yourselves in mid-January. There is going to be what they call Steam Dev Days, and if you're not a member of the press and you're a developer, you will be
Allowed to go.
possibly allowed to go to Seattle and to this Steam/Valve conference.
Well,
Are you going to that?
No, it's too expensive to go there, and for me to go there for
It's only expensive.
Valve.
It's only expensive if we drink to excess.
So it's going to be expensive then.
Then why go?
Well, I won't go. I don't think Foyle will drink on his own. I don't think he's a I'm just going to go out and drink kind of guy.
No comment. Who says you have to go out?
Well, she's not too far from Seattle, isn't it?
It's a few hours by train, right?
Yeah.
Probably. It's in this.
We all voted. When he gets on, we'll tell him he's going.
Yeah.
Save his money and
You have to
Go.
represent us. You are not press, though. Just so you know, you're not press. You're a developer.
yeah. It specifically says that it's industry only. You can't be press to go into this thing. So it's also at the same time. Well, why have it? Who's really going to this?
There's going to be an NDA saying you're not allowed to talk about anything we tell you here.
Could be.
What they're going to do is they're going to want people to get excited to develop for this Steam box. Yet they don't want anybody spilling any beans about what the Steam box can or cannot do.
No one can know what the Steam box is. You have to experience it for yourself.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that, I'm expecting. All right. Well, moving on to something else. We have another console that may be coming out, and it's an Android-based console. Mad Catz is putting together the M.O.J.O. The M.O.J.O Micro console for Android.
Didn't Mad Catz put out something crappy before? Oh yes, everything that they've put out.
Yeah. I'd agree there.
Yeah.
Aren't they? Mad Catz are they more put out peripherals?
Yeah, like
They
mice and keyboards.
Yeah. Now they're putting out a console because there's not enough consoles coming up that are going to fail.
I know. This whole sort of micro console movement is gonna crash and burn. There's just too many people entering the space, all sort of vying for the same thing.
They're all trying to pick up the pieces, the crumbs that are going to be left behind when the Xbox One and the PS4 release and explode and fail horribly and fall in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very strange move for them. I quite like their peripherals. I actually have both of Mad Catz keyboard and mouse.
Really?
Oh.
I've never
Yes.
used any of them. So you have one of those heavy mice that has like 30 knobs on it.
Yeah, one out.
The 30 knobs are to adjust it in every which way. It is heavy though, isn't it?
No, there's not a lot of adjustments on it, to be honest, on this one.
Okay.
This is the newest version. It is quite heavy though, but I like a heavy mouse anyway. That's one of the reasons I bought it. Plus, it was cheaper than the other ones.
Okay. Moving on to actually this we should have probably mentioned this before when Stryder was talking about how there's all kinds of deals being made for money being picked up on different games like Call of Duty he was referring to. Well, Battlefield 4 is also another one of them. I don't know what kind of it baffles me to conceive of how like let's say Rockstar can pay 600 developers for 2+ years to work on a single game. I can't imagine the kind of money that is involved in that, and that doesn't include anything to do with promotion. And now Battlefield 4, sure, I understand that AMD paid EA $8 million to get an exclusive up on Battlefield 4. Now
And
this probably barely
link
covers
says
some
$5 million.
marketing. Oh, does it?
The story says 8, but the link says 5.
I don't know. But interesting. The marketing for this on TV alone is probably triple that.
The
Quadruple.
awesome part of this is that it's stupid. Thanks,
Stop clicking
Google.
the wrong link.
No, it's just Google's being retarded. You can't you can't highlight copy paste. You have to highlight Control C because Google won't allow you to right click
So crazy.
highlighted stuff.
I don't know. It opens right from my browser. But, okay.
Yeah. But they I forgot what I was going to say now. Fuck it. Oh, I know. AMD buying into Battlefield, where Bad Company 2 and Battlefield 3 were horrible fails for AMD. Their drivers are horrible. So what, you're going to put out drivers for your game now, or for a game on release? Good luck. Good luck, all AMD users trying to play Battlefield. It's
Stryder?
not going to happen.
Good luck
Stryder was
anyone trying to play Battlefield at the moment.
What's that?
Good luck anyone trying to play Battlefield at the moment.
Yeah.
It's
Why at the
horrible
moment?
when I tried it. Well, when I first tried it, I was getting terrible frames.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard everyone
so was I.
outside of the U.S. was getting terrible frames. But I had
Sorry,
no
this
issues.
game is not optimized for your country.
Yeah.
But I had
It
no
actually
issues.
put me off getting the game, which
Oh.
is good. Save me some money.
Well, I'm probably in need of an upgrade, especially graphics card at this point. But I read on some forums that you had to first they released an update not too long ago to address some problems, and NVIDIA has some beta drivers that you should download. So I did, and it helped with the frame rate. It wasn't sort of silky smooth like BF3.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I don't understand. Is I can play BF3 pretty much maxed out and have no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, play BF4 and I was getting 15, 20 frames.
And it's so weird too because while BF4 looks a little better, essentially they look very similar. And I don't understand what's happening, what's causing it not to work that well.
I didn't
2
play it.
letters. EA.
I only played it once early this week or early last week, and I was doing okay then. I didn't have a chance to play it very much this week.
Well, I played 4 or 5 games, and then from that I decided not to get the game.
Wow.
Unless I get it for a very good price.
And was that more than just performance, or what?
Yeah, there was more than just performance. The performance, well, pissed me off anyway. But I don't know. There just wasn't enough new to
No,
it.
there isn't.
There
isn't.
There was a few twigs that I did see that were okay. They made things a bit nicer, but at the end of the day, it was exactly the same.
It looks and feels a little different, but when you stop playing and you sit back for an hour, you're like, that was the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it'd have to come at a discount. I know I for sure won't be paying full price if I decide to get it. It's going to be the everything included, low price sale.
All right, retro gaming. We can talk about some retro stuff that's happening here. There's a ColecoVision project.
ColecoVision.
In case you've missed ColecoVision and you can't wait to play it again. This is by the same company that put together a Vectrex rebuild using your iPad.
I think that's
You know,
I
these
remember
sound.
what I used to play on ColecoVision. I used to have a ColecoVision console. That was cutting edge technology.
yeah.
I had a friend with one. Yeah, play baseball on it. That's
Was
it.
that, I can't remember. I have ColecoVision console. Yeah,
So-
that's what it looks like. Games were there. Donkey Kong was on there.
So they're trying to do some sort of crowdfunding project to raise up money so that they can license all these games officially and have real support and go out and put this thing together. They want to target Android, PlayStation, Vita, desktops, that kind of stuff. So they're not going to rebuild the console. They're going to rebuild. They're going to make a legal emulator.
Okay. I mean, I suppose that's. I should say okay.
Oops.
Right, yeah.
Ha!
That's
Donkey Nog.
commendable.
Donkey Nog.
I don't know what kind of spin-offs you are playing. Stryder came from a poor family. They could only afford Donkey Nog.
Yeah. Cheap knockoffs.
Okay. What else we have? We have. Well, I've been wondering, where's Ham's review of this next one?
Nah.
Right? We're missing out on the farming simulator.
Right.
It's gonna come.
Who is buying these games?
I don't know, but they just this article's all about a new expansion that just came out. It's now live on Steam.
So that's beautiful.
Right.
And when they say contents and trailer inside, do they mean that literally? Get a new trailer for your tractor.
They're like farmers out there that are just doing a day's farming and going, right.
No, this is all the people that play Farmville on Facebook.
They can run simulations.
Fuck, just keep that farm.
Wow.
Build their own farm.
Hey, the cows are coming home. Stop playing now.
This is like advanced Farmville.
Yeah, this is a real deal.
People who just can't get their hit from Farmville anymore.
Let the The farm is the engine of a nation. This is all about nation building.
Jeez. Oh boy. Okay.
That's beautiful.
You still haven't played it though, have you?
I've not.
Did you buy it?
No, it hasn't been cheap enough for me yet. But I know I'm getting the titanium edition. That's for sure.
Let's see what it's worth here, buddy.
Yeah, find out. That's what I was just wondering.
I've got the store up, so let's see. What is it called? Farm? Oh, it's not Farmville. What is it called?
Farming Simulator, 2013.
$28.
Yeah, see, that's a
Yeah,
little steep.
$28. But for $30, you get the titanium edition plus modding tutorials.
See, I love
Modding
that.
tutorials.
$2
Then I really
for
could-
modding tutorials. How to build your own farm.
Can make real plus.
Well, actually, I'm kind of glad that they're supporting the modding, at least, you know. But somebody's buying this.
The only reason I haven't jumped on board right away for the full price is because, well, one, I know it's going to go on sale eventually for a reasonable price, and the other is because I got burned by Railworks. It's called something else now, I think Train Simulator. And that was awful. And that's the one with thousands of expansions, all for incredibly crazy prices. And
About the game. Welcome to the greatest farming simulation ever made. That is a sentence that is just not. Blah 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 blah. What can you do? Well, you can do things like manage your own farm.
Yay.
Over 100 authentic vehicles. 2 believable environments, American and European. You can breed your own cattle.
oh,
That's the 4 key selling features of this game.
Can you crossbreed?
oh,
Only you would
guess
think
it's
about
Some cattle,
actually
you know,
trying to breed Breesy with a cow.
some sheep cows like that.
Jeez. Yes.
From what I heard, you've already done that.
Breed
tried.
cattle?
There may be offspring.
um,
4-year-old offspring.
All really furry.
Huh?
They're all really furry.
Furry.
Someone's actually on my Steam. Someone's actually just started playing Farming Simulator. No way.
Awesome.
these people are all around us.
You can unfriend them immediately.
Okay. All right.
That's what armor people do when they're not playing armor.
Yeah.
Farming Simulator.
When they're not playing Arma. Well, apparently this is a big hit in Europe, so obviously your guys is
No, he's one of yours.
what?
He's not from around here. He's one of yours.
Don't knock until you tried it.
Everybody's playing Farm Simulator to get more of those Farming Simulator cards because those are the hardest ones to get.
Oh god.
The Steam cards.
Yeah, some people do that. Yeah. All right. There's some possible information here that Far Cry 4 is underway. It's unconfirmed, but come on. Of course they're working on it. There's all kinds of blanket statements I can make. Black Ops 3. You heard it here first.
I'm sure Call of Duty Ghost 3 is in the works already. 2 is probably done already.
Yeah.
Yeah, Far Cry 3 I think was well received. People tended to like it. There's no way they're going to stop there.
I don't think I played it.
So,
I didn't play it.
It was alright. It got a bit boring.
I think I got it. Played 2 days of multiplayer, and that was it.
And people really like that standalone. Was it Dragon Blood? I think it was called. People tended to like that. There's no way they were going to stop, or not almost immediately start another one. but yeah, it's to be expected.
Okay, now let's talk about a couple of other interesting little bits and pieces that came up. There is somebody's got a somebody's got a Kickstarter here that I thought I'd bring this one up. It
Fuck
is
Kickstarter.
well, it's all about getting. I think if I have this correct, it's about getting kids into the van or something.
Oh God.
Right? It's called the Indie Van Game Jam. Really what they're
usually do that.
Help
if
me
you
fund my pedophile
right.
addiction.
You see, that's what it looks like on the surface if you go through this. Exactly what it looks like. But really, I think
It's like Van's Warp Tour, except this one's let's go drive slow in playground zones.
Yeah, free candy.
It's like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm. But I think really the point of this is if you've ever watched a show called Man vs. Food, I think the purpose is them to go around and talk to different indie developers and go into their studio and see their games. That's what they say.
All different independent studios and make games.
Oh, that's horrible. They should have probably come up with some different sort of
It's Man versus Food with a touch of indie
methodology to that.
We go and just see what everyone else is doing and try to
All right.
imitate ourselves.
What else was out there
Like pets.
that seemed at all interesting? Toyota's also trying to do their own thing, which might as well have been on Kickstarter because it seems ridiculous. Corollacade. Yes, arcade and Toyota
You just
Corolla.
brought something up. I wonder how long until vehicle developers like Ford and Chev and all of them decide, hey, let's put our next vehicle on Kickstarter. People can tell us what features they want us to develop into, and if they pay us X amount, we'll develop better gas mileage. And if we reach this amount, I bet you that comes about.
Mm-hmm.
Crowd
Yeah, I could see that.
source funding car development, vehicle development. Oh,
Well, I don't understand the tie-in on this one. It seems like a little bit like too loose here. You have Toyota, who says we're going to give money to this game developer that is going to be making a car game in a cabinet that looks like an arcade game, but requires the Oculus Rift.
then it doesn't need to be in a cabinet.
You see, I'm like, what? And they're like, well, it's the idea that you can sit down and drive the car game, and you
It'll
can
give you that. It might give you that
No.
feedback
No.
of
No.
movement.
No, I'm going to
No?
skip ahead and show you what they're working on here. And then you're wearing the Oculus Rift, and people can watch what you're seeing on the big screen. Or not so big, but see, here's the seat. It's just a wooden seat with some pedals. There's no rocking or anything.
But that's the prototype. That's why they need Kickstarter.
Toyota only has so much money, and now they have to get Kickstarter to kick in their ass.
It's what a feeling.
These things just, haven't been in the arcade for years and years at all.
Well, and the other good thing is it's plywood, so they don't have to worry about the brakes failing or the accelerator sticking or anything like that.
I mean, at least be creative with it. Let me drive a hover.
That's the new Prius you're looking at there, folks.
Yep. All right, one more thing that I want to bring up, which I think is it's pretty rough here. We have I wasn't sure to make this the ending video or not, but I'm not going to make this the ending video. I'm going to talk about it a little bit instead. There's a new fad going around where people are jumping onto Xbox, turning on a video recorder, jumping into Minecraft, and then doing things to try and make the little kids on the other end of the mic cry. Like burn down their buildings, pretend to give them stuff, pretend to help them. Let me borrow your diamond sword, and then never giving it back to them. Stuff like that.
Sounds like something I could get on board with.
Well, I was like, what are you talking about? Why is this thing? Then there's some crying of a kid.
Here, I'll give you a piece.
Here, I'll give you a piece. No, give me mine back.
I'll give you a piece.
Right? Well, actually, Breesy does this now to us.
Yeah,
I'll give you a piece. Come here, and then he stabs you.
I'm kidding. Alright, here, alright, bud?
I went over to YouTube and I was like, okay, there are hundreds of videos like this.
There,
Oh, I know what I'm
don't
doing tonight.
have any money. Now I'm gonna eat some zombie flesh.
Yes, cyberbullying. Except they're video recording it and throwing it on YouTube.
This is no different to all the YouTube videos for Battlefield and Call of Duty, where you like off people in the corners and stuff.
Yes. Except this you're doing purposely to kids that are
Oh, it's
generally 12 and under.
Oh. I have the pearl.
I found
I
that
have the pearl.
yeah, Minecraft it seems to be very popular with little kids who are about 12 and under. Minecraft and Larry's
I put my sword in his butthole. It's fine. What?
It's awful. There's video after video of this kind of nonsense. All right, I can't keep it going. I just can't. You can be mesmerized on your own. But at least they're not being. These kids aren't being thrown into a warehouse and forced to make PS4s like the
Yeah.
kids over in where?
I think it's Japan, isn't it?
Yeah, Foxconn, China.
Foxconn. Where? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
China schools are like, you want credit for a class? You got to go and build some PS4s. I'm not kidding you.
Jesus.
So crazy. It's just absolutely insane.
That is nuts. All right.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I even have a comment for that. That's wrong. Maybe they should ship you the PlayStation 4 sort of disassemble it in a box and put it together like Legos or something before you can play it.
They can't do that. Console people wouldn't be able to work it out.
Yeah.
It'd take them half a day to realise the instructions were upside down.
Sad, but
All right. You guys want to talk about anything else?
Me, of course. Just one thing.
Let's talk about ham.
all about me.
Let's talk about ham, baby.
Really briefly, I thought it was interesting that Vlambeer, I'm not sure if people are familiar with them. They made
Beer?
I wish. They made a lot of nice games. The one I can't think of right now is man. I can't think of the name, but they've made a lot of great games in the past.
I heard beer too.
Small. Vlambeer. It's two guys. They're from
Bland
something.
beer.
Vlam. Yeah,
That sounds like an absolutely horrible beer.
They make great games, great small games.
I'm really fucking with Ham's concentration here.
Guys. Super Crate Box is the game they made. And a lot of people are familiar with that. They've also made a game called Super Ridiculous Fishing. They've got a game coming out called Luftbrowser. And there's a game coming out called Nuclear Throne. It used to be called Wasteland Kings. They recently changed the name. The point is, the game is early access on Steam, and they're charging more for the early access than the final release price, which is something I thought was worth pointing out. Where you've got, usually you end up paying less, in most cases, for the alpha, the one that's buggy, and you sort of get a discount for getting it early, but these guys are charging more for the game before, and that's kind of weird, because you have some people saying, well, why am I paying more for a game that's buggy and not working properly than people
It's
who are
it's an anti-feature.
right?
And we know there's nothing that the community likes more than anti-features.
They love it. And so their response is that, well, if you pay up front, then you get to interact with us and influence the features of the game. And I said to myself, well, if people complain about it post-release, they're influencing the fixes for the game too. So it doesn't work for me. That's just kind of weird. And we used to have a system where people actually got paid to beta test games. I mean, I know some people find that unbelievable at home. Like, really? What? But now people pay the developer for testing the game, which is just weird. We've gotten so backwards in that, because now it's almost to the point where it's like, hey, I found a bug, and the developer can say, well, that's great. Now pay us. Pay us for finding that out. So, there you go. That's all. Something to think about.
All right. All right. All right. Anyone else? No, no, no. Pay to debug, yes. Okay. I guess on that, I will bid you all farewell. It's been a good show. I want to thank our hosts for taking the time out to chat today. Breesy, thank you very much for joining us today.
No problem.
Ham, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. And Stryder, thank you for joining us today.
It's been something to do. Yep.
All right. Finally, I want to thank you, the fans of MODSonair.com and the subscribing members of MODSonline.com. You make this possible. We'll be back next week with some more things to talk about, and stick around for after the credits. I got something. Thanks for watching this week, and come back next week when we will broadcast another live show. Details for this and all past episodes can be found at MODSonair.com. We welcome your feedback via email at mailbag@modsonair.com. And please consider subscribing to modsonline.com to support our show. The opinions expressed by individuals on this program are not necessarily the opinions of our sponsors, owners, or partners.
Yeah, that's right.
Franklin's Shitty Vacation with Morgan Freeman. Once upon a time in Los Santos, there was a bus driver named Franklin.
Hey, get in, we running late.
One day, old Franklin got bored, so he second-degree manslaughtered the shit out of a cyclist on the sidewalk. Franklin's boss was very upset and said he'd better take a vacation so his accident had time to blow over. Well, Franklin wasted no time. He immediately went and got his knob polished by a common street whore. His vacation was starting off pretty good until he accidentally murdered the whore. Luckily, Franklin managed to elude the pigs by driving off a cliff. After washing up on shore, Franklin borrowed a giant mining truck from a nice man and headed into town.
You getting robbed, she.
It took a couple of hours, but finally, Franklin made it to his destination, a strip club. He took a liking to a blonde named Juliet.
Tell me I'm your favorite girl, baby.
But when he tried to get fresh with her,
No touching, that's the rule.
he got kicked out of the club. He promptly hurled his body into the bouncer, and another police chase ensued with similar results. Later, he found a rusted old tractor and drove right back to the strip club to see Juliet, but got thrown out again. And after body checking, punching, and killing countless people, Franklin decided he should take a vacation somewhere very far away. So he went to the airport. Unfortunately, he was so excited to get out of town that he tripped over some people. The police were notified, and Franklin had to kill a whole herd of piggies with a hotel shuttle.
Hey, come on, move.
Franklin's vacation had been more disappointing than the New Kids on the Block reunion. So Franklin decided to do something a little more relaxing: golf. Franklin was extremely shitty at golf, but at least it was stress-free. That is, until he rode a golf cart off an incomplete bridge and into the icy cold water below. This was the last straw. Franklin went into a violent rage and began attacking everyone he could find. Then, determined to finish his round of golf, he walked up to a new golf cart which was apparently booby-trapped. It electrocuted his foot and he died instantly.
I hear that happens a lot in the game.
What
Like,
was that? I was at full health and I lost it all because my foot touched the golf cart? Fuck that noise. Morgan Freeman ain't getting played by no game. The end. For more awesome GTA 5 videos,
All right.
go to the Game Society Pimps channel. And for celebrity voiceovers, go to Jason.